Thank you for joining me. My name is Rebecca Smith. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, Texas. My law firm is located at the corner of 410 and Blanco, and it's the Rebecca Smith Law Firm. I am pleased that you're able to join us today, and I want to talk a little bit about sole proprietorship. And this information is current as of the date of this recording, which is September 28th of 2022. And as with all things legal, it's subject to change. So here's some basic concepts about sole proprietorship. Um, this is America and we love business. In order to be in business, all you need to do is produce a product or provide a service with the intent to make profit. If you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it as a sole proprietorship. So there's no fanfare, no special, writings that need to be done. All you have to do is start to try to earn a living or start a side hustle, and you're in business. And by default, you're going to be operating as a sole proprietorship. Here in Texas, we often recommend that if you are going to be operating as a sole proprietor, that you go ahead and file an assumed name. Your assumed name will be filed in the county in which you're principally located. So if you're living here in San Antonio, Texas, you would go to Bexar County. And if you were living in New Braunfels, you would go to Comal County. So wherever the county is that you're located, that's where you need to file your assumed name. They're not particularly expensive. They cost about $30. And essentially, it would be your name doing business as whatever your business name is. And then you receive an official certificate stating that you have reserved that name. We always recommend that you get an EIN, even if you're operating as a sole proprietor, to help protect against identity theft. So EINs are easy to get, and they cost you nothing through the irs.gov website. Be aware that there's a lot of lookalike websites out there. So if you go to try to get an EIN from what substantially looks like an irs.gov website, but at the end they want to charge you $200, you're on the wrong website. Cancel that out, clear out, go to the official irs.gov website. It should cost you nothing to get an EIN. But understand that when you operate your business as a sole proprietor, you can hire employees, buy property, have vehicles and equipment, and do all the business of the business. But understand that there's no separation between you and your business. You are, in fact, your business. And also understand that a lot of folks wonder, like, how can I get a salary? How do I get a paycheck from my company? Well, when you're operating as a sole proprietor, right, you are your business. Your salary is whatever the profits of the business are. So if the business is doing really well, you're making a lot of money in profit. But if the business isn't doing well, then you will not be making a lot of money in the profit. So you can't pay yourself a paycheck like you would an employee when you're operating as a sole proprietor. Thank you for listening to this portion of the event, and talk to you guys soon.